With the NBA gaining global popularity in recent years, it's no secret that its players are currently enjoying a floodgate of cash and an absurd amount of wealth in this generation due to multi-million-dollar contracts and renewed brand deals. With this in mind, who do you think bagged the most money out of this? In this video, I'll reveal the 10 filthiest rich players in league history. Before we get into it, please smash the like button, subscribe to the channel, and hit the notification bell so that you never miss a video. Number 10, Kevin Durant, net worth $170 million. Kevin Durant simply loves putting points on the board. A scoring savant in his own right, KD steered his way into becoming one of the most lethal bucket getters in league history. But of course, hiring the services of an elite player like Durant doesn't come cheap. With over $170 million in his bank account, KD's wealth primarily comes from his NBA paycheck that now runs to almost $40 million this year. Aside from this, Durant has also partnered with his agent, Kim Kleiman, to establish 35 Ventures, which serves as his main cash cow that funds all of his other entrepreneurial endeavors. Durant's diversified business portfolio includes a bunch of startup companies like Postmates, a micro-lending company called Acorns, and a stock trading platform in Robinhood. He and Kleiman also invested in a couple of restaurants like the pizza place Pyology and also explored opportunities in cannabis businesses. And on top of all that, KD also aspires to become a media mogul with his Overtime app that features highlight reels of future and upcoming basketball stars. With over $225 million in basketball-related earnings, and that's excluding his brand endorsements, KD is also a shareholder of Philadelphia Union and is invested in more than 40 different companies. Number 9, Hakeem Olajuwon, net worth $200 million. When it comes to footwork, Hakeem Olajuwon has probably the most polished and graceful post moves in the game. The Nigerian-born center can hit you with elusive up and under layups, and who could forget about the patented dream shake that made his opponents look like they were inserted in imaginary spin dryers every time they were guarding him. A two-time NBA champion and a multiple All-Star, Hakeem is a certified winner on the court. But despite only having an average annual salary of $7 million at the time and estimated career earnings of almost $108 million, Hakeem was able to score some sneaker deals and brand endorsements that eventually jacked up his net worth. After playing for several seasons in the NBA, he turned his attention to the real estate business, in which he found his post-career financial success. According to a New York Times interview, Hakeem was a student of the game and the art of flipping properties, and he's managed to make as much in real estate in the last 10 years as he did in 17 seasons playing professional basketball. Number 8, David Robinson, $200 million. Following in the footsteps of Hakeem in the real estate business, David Robinson is another NBA star turned investor after he hung his sneakers for good, playing for 14 seasons with the San Antonio Spurs. With estimated NBA earnings of almost $115 million and an average annual salary of $8 million, Robinson was an instrumental piece of the Spurs championship runs in 1999 and 2003. Aside from his NBA check, Robinson was also featured on the packaging of Doritos and appeared in the Edge shaving commercials along with his front court buddy Tim Duncan. After his retirement, Robinson co-founded the Admiral Capital Group together with Daniel Basicius. Coincidentally, Robinson was known as the Admiral in his heydays after serving in the Navy from 1983 to 1987. His company focuses on making real estate investments to develop low-income neighborhoods while creating a positive impact in the community in Texas. Number 7, Grant Hill, net worth $250 million. Grant Hill was once pegged as the successor of the great Michael Jordan, a supreme athlete and versatile scorer. Hill had all the tools to become a top-tier superstar and the face of the league. Hill has earned over $140 million in his 18 seasons in the NBA, and at the peak of his career, he was chosen as the brand ambassador for Sprite and McDonald's, as well as for famous shoe lines like Fila, Nike, and Adidas. After his devastating ankle injury in 2000, Hill was never the same, and he didn't even finish a full season because he was riddled with new injuries. Following his retirement in the 2013 season, Hill focused his energy on Hill Ventures. It's his personal marketing and promotional arm that was established shortly after he got drafted in 1994 by the Detroit Pistons. Aside from these, the company also ventured into the world of real estate and also sells and collects rare African American artworks. In 2015, the NBA approved the turnover of the Atlanta Hawks franchise to an ownership group led by Tony Ressler, which Hill is part of and thus making him a part owner of the Hawks. Number 6, Shaquille O'Neal, net worth $400 million. Shaq is undoubtedly one of the most dominant forces in league history. But did you know that Diesel also dominates the world of business, just like he did on court? With over $293 million earnings he received playing for 20 seasons in the NBA, Shaq's undeniable charm and comical demeanor have allowed him to land several sponsorship deals for well-known brands and uncountable TV and cameo appearances throughout his storied career. Despite already having an enormous wealth in his bank account, Shaq didn't stop there, and he would later on dive into multiple business ventures and acquire stocks of big companies like Apple, General Electric, and Pepsi. He even got a doctoral degree at Barry University just to enhance his business acumen further, and to show his critics that his foray into business was not just for show. According to reports, Shaq's diversified business portfolio includes 155 co-owned chains of Five Guys restaurant, 17 Aunt Annie's pretzels, 40 fitness centers, a shopping center, a movie house, and a couple of nightclubs in Las Vegas. What's funny is that it doesn't include his current commercial and sneaker deals. Adding these income streams will skyrocket his wealth to newer heights and will definitely open the floodgates of cash pipeline to his already chunky bank account. Number 5, LeBron James, net worth $450 million. A four-time NBA champ and countless all-star appearances, LeBron James is currently the highest-paid active player in the NBA. With over $306 million in NBA earnings, every penny is worth it if you have the king playing for your team. As savvy as he is inside the court, the king has managed to cut lucrative business deals to fill his kingdom with gold and glitter. Upon entering the league at just 18 years of age, LeBron signed a 7-year, $90 million sneaker deal with Nike, making it one of his financially sound decisions at the early parts of his career. As LeBron kept racking up achievements on court, he continued to score deals outside of it, securing endorsement deals with Audemars Piguet, a European luxury watchmaker, Beats by Dre, Dunkin' Brands, McDonald's, and State Farm. In 2011, he was granted a minority stake of the English Premier Football club, Liverpool, and he also just recently became a part owner of the Boston Red Sox. LeBron also made his presence felt in the field of media and show business after he and his childhood friend Maverick Carter established Spring Hill Entertainment. To top it all off, LeBron also invested $35 million in Blaze Pizza, which now is a booming franchise, and also got into the spirits business and backs a drink called Lobos 1707 Tequila. Number 4, Kobe Bryant, net worth $600 million. A relentless competitor on the hardwood, the late Kobe Bryant was a bona fide winner with his 5 NBA championship rings and 18 All-Star selections. The Mamba left it out on the floor every single night, and Kobe would be remembered as someone with an unparalleled will and tremendous passion for the game of basketball. Aside from his astonishing shoe deals that are worth millions, Kobe was also a serial entrepreneur, and despite his untimely demise in 2020, his business kept growing and expanding. The Black Mamba was already ahead of the curve when he launched Kobe Inc. in 2014 and invested millions of his hard-earned fortune into an energy drink company called Body Armor. Just like other players on this list, Kobe has co-founded a venture capitalist firm together with Jeff Stibble called Bryant Stibble. According to their website, the company has fueled huge rounds of financial and operational support to mobile game companies like Epic Games and Scopely. They've also heavily invested in software companies like TeamViewer, LegalZoom, RingDNA, and VIPKid. Kobe has earned over $328 million in 20 seasons playing for the Lakers and had an average annual salary of $25 million. Number 3, Magic Johnson, net worth $600 million. Throughout the 80s, nobody has brought entertainment onto the hardwood quite like Magic Johnson. At 6'9", Magic took the reins of the Lakers' high-octane offense with a lot of showmanship and supernatural swag. Though Magic brought 5 NBA titles to LA, bagged 3 MVP trophies, and is certainly considered as one of the greatest hoopers in NBA history, he didn't earn the same type of money that NBA players are earning today. In fact, he only earned close to $40 million during his playing tenure. But how did Magic turn his $40 million into a $600 million mega empire? Well, the answer is that it's all about smart investments and maximizing business opportunities. Throughout the years, Magic has built companies that invest in other business enterprises. His own venture capitalist firm, Magic Johnson Enterprises, has made some early investments that produce lucrative returns for him. This includes 125 Starbucks stores, a bunch of movie theaters and malls, 31 Burger King joints and TGI Friday outlets, Equitrust Insurance, and a handful of 24-hour fitness centers. After firmly establishing his cash cows, Magic made some investments in California-based sports teams like the Lakers, Dodgers, LAFC, and the LA Spark. Fast forward to today, the diversified portfolio of Magic Johnson Enterprises has now holdings of an estimated amount of $1 billion. Number 2, Junior Bridgman. Junior Bridgman doesn't have the star power level like everyone else on this list. Drafted 8th overall by the Lakers in 1975, Bridgman only averaged 13.6 points and 3.5 rebounds, playing 10 years with the Bucks and 2 more seasons with the Clippers. Although he only managed to have a mediocre basketball career, Bridgman has found more success off the court than on it. During the off-seasons, Bridgman spent his time learning about the fast food franchise business model of Wendy's, in which he ended up with 3 branches while actively playing, while having another 2 after retiring. Despite only having $350,000 worth of annual salary in the NBA, Bridgman saved every penny of it and continued to learn how the franchising business works. After 30 years of reinvesting his earnings and learning the ins and outs of the business, his Wendy's stores boomed from 5 franchises to a whopping 450-plus branches, which also included a couple of Chili's restaurants and more. In 2017, Bridgman put up Bridgman Foods, Inc., which was awarded an exclusive bottling license by Coca-Cola. And he also diversified into the media industry when he bought Ebony and Jet magazines in 2020. Number 1, Michael Jordan, $1.6 billion. The GOAT of basketball is still the GOAT of cash. Michael Jordan is not only the richest basketball player ever, he's also the richest athlete of all time. With over $94 million in basketball-related earnings, Jordan has also amassed over $1.7 billion in endorsement deals alone, having partnerships with famous brands like Nike, Coca-Cola, Wheaties, Chevrolet, Hanes, Gatorade, and Upper Deck. After a fallout and taking an ownership role in Washington in 2003, Jordan came back 3 years later, but this time buying a minority stake in the Charlotte Bobcats, which now went back to its original name as the Charlotte Hornets. He just cashed in at the right time, and the Hornets' evaluation grew exponentially to $1.5 billion, thanks to the new collective bargaining agreement and a new TV deal between the NBA and its media partners. Outside of the basketball sphere, His Airness also doubled down on other business and ventures that had several funding rounds for tech companies like Sport Trader and Gigster, headphone maker Music, and an esports team called Axiomatic, which was recently valued at $320 million. MJ is also part of an investor group that acquired the Miami Marlins for $1.2 billion and owns several car dealerships along with Jordan-branded restaurants under the Cornerstone Restaurant Group. If you're as rich as these guys, how would you spend your money? And what's the first thing you're going to buy if you woke up to find out that you have millions in your bank account? Let me hear your thoughts and answers on this one with your comments below. If you liked this, please smash the like button, subscribe, and hit the bell icon so you can join the Alley Oops family.